Hi everybody, welcome to Let's Draw, a Grand Punwick video series where we take one of our many children's book characters and draw them as a character from another series, like a comic book or movie series. I'm J. Robert Deans, the creator of Shakes the Cow and Stanley the Bear from Ant and several other series, and I'm going to draw for you today Shakes as Mulan from the upcoming Disney film. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out with a basic pencil sketch and framework. And this is where I do just the basic shapes, the sort of eggplant body shape for Shakes, and put in a bunch of other things to sort of get the pose right, get the idea of what I want Shakes to look like as Mulan. And then I go back and I put in all the other details, like the robe, the belt, and add the details to the belt, and then the armor and the other things like that I want to actually have in the picture over the basic shapes. Now, I should probably say I don't normally draw this fast. This picture actually took me about a half an hour to do. If I could draw this fast, my books would come out a lot faster. This is actually sped up about 5 times. So that's why it's going by so quickly. It'd be nice if I could draw this fast. But moving on. I do like the design of this armor, I have to say. Once I've added in a bunch of the extra details, we can get started with the inking. Now, I'm doing this digitally. I use a program called Clip Studio. You could just as easily do this on paper with a light pencil or a blue pencil or anything else like that. I am trying out a new brush here, a new brush tool. My preferences are always changing. I'm always experimenting with new tools, and I think it's a good thing to experiment. Always have fun when you're doing art. Always make sure you're having a good time. And try new things, try new tools, try new ways of doing things, because you don't want to get stuck doing the same old thing, because then art can get boring, and you never want your art to get boring, either to yourself or to other people. You always want to have fun with it. That's the most important thing. And really go out there and realize that not only are you trying to make other people happy with your art, or make people feel something, but also engage yourself at the same time. And especially with something like this, the 1998 movie, the original cartoon, was okay. I enjoyed it, but I'm really looking forward to this particular version of Mulan, mostly because I studied this version of history, this era of history, in college. I love Asian history, and it really grabbed my attention when I went to college. Little bits of detail there. And then we're going to take away the pencils and start coloring it. And I'm using normally what I would do with these digital drawings. I would use either colored pencils or colored pencil tools or crayons or even just flat normal web colors. But here I'm using a watercolor tool, mostly because I've been doing a lot of watercolor sketching in my sketchbook. And I'm enjoying painting. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying how it looks and how it makes my sketches turn out. And I also like the way that the colors layer. Now, it works a little bit differently here digitally, but when the colors come together, they blend much more nicely than they do as markers or anything else. Like, okay, I made a mistake there, but if you'll notice that blending the two colors together, that you get a really nice reddish brown for those boots. And I really like how that works out when you're dealing with watercolors. You can just sort of play around more with the colors and the values and how they work out. Here I've got the armor going, and it's just a basic gray, which I like because I'll be able to punch that up shortly with the laces. Right there, as you see. And I really love that design. I mentioned that earlier, but I really like that design. And as I mentioned earlier, I studied this era of history in college. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the actual ballad of Hua Mulan, because it's so important to Chinese history and to Chinese culture. And you may not be able to see it just yet, but I'm adding in a bunch of sort of shadings and textural highlights. It's a little more obvious there, putting in the shading underneath the armor and underneath the robes. possibly less so in a couple of seconds when I add a little bit of white highlight to the very outer edge of things like Shakes's face and the sword. And then the armor is just adding a little bit of gray to the outside of it. And then once I've done that, I of course have to kind of get a pun in. And that's when I do the logo. Yeah, you see it. Because I have to. And then, like everyone else, always sign your work. And that's it. Mulan is done. Shakes's Mulan is done. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope you, if you get to watch the Mulan film soon or whenever, that you enjoy that too. And if you draw this or any other of our characters, please send them to fans@grandpunwick.com. We'd love to see it. We always love getting in fan art. And in the meantime, stay safe, take care. Cheers. Thanks.